Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hoping everybody's having a great start to the day or end of the day, depending on your location. We are here today with Colin Leonard on the Con-Versation and happy to have you with us today.
Hi, Greg. Pleased to be here, and hello to all your viewers.
And Colin, an author, as everybody knows, Tuesdays is usually authors or artists. So, I'd like to ask, what genre are you writing in?
I am writing in the horror genre, pretty much exclusively at the moment. And horror, of course, is having a big moment at this time, so it's the right place to be just now.
Well, I can see that. I mean, I've seen a lot of horror shows around the area, and they get a lot of good attendance. So I think horror is definitely a good genre to be in.
Absolutely, yeah. I've always loved horror. I've always really liked it, and although I've written in uh, various different themes and genres, I kind of keep coming back to horror, and I find that's where I express myself the best.
Now, for you, do you think it's the suspense of the horror that you like writing about?
It's it's more the darkness, I think, and the freedom to go into the scariest places imaginable and to take the reality of life and shine a really dark look on it. And it's that kind of attracts me to the horror genre.
Hmm, sweet. So, what would you say inspires you the most to start writing?
To start writing, I guess when I was a kid, I would have been a big fan of comics like 2000 AD, Scream, Eagle, war stuff as well, and adventure things. And then as time went on, I would have been reading reading crime things, reading horror, reading literary fiction as well, and all that kind of just meshes into the kind of stuff I like to read and write at the moment.
Now, when you say horror, do you add the drama of, let's just say, the police aspect of it as well?
Sometimes, funny enough, my novel that's out at the moment, Country Roads, one of the main characters in it is a Garda Síochána, which is an Irish policeman. And apart from the other nasty little monsters in the thing, he's nasty enough himself. So,
So,
but I'm really attracted to the supernatural elements of the genre.
so paranormal aspect, or
Paranormal, yeah, I'd be more a fan of ghost stuff and cosmic stuff than, let's say, straight out slasher kind of things. I do think I do like a supernatural element to my horror.
now going with that and going back to the previous question, so would you say good cop, bad cop?
Say bad cop in this particular case.
Now, I know where you're located at. Well, kind of, sort of. I've never been there. I'd love
Oh,
to go there.
more than
But
welcome.
but y'all have a lot of, if I'm correct, no, I wouldn't say a lot, but castles and things like that around the area. Do you ever go to those to get or to seek out any paranormal experiences?
Oh yeah, and you don't have to go too far actually. There's everywhere you go around where I am are ruins, ancient burial tombs. Where I am at the moment is about 10 miles away from where they say Halloween started, a place called the Hill of Ward or the Hill of Tlachta. And they used to have huge, big fire ceremonies around the various festival times of the year. And that's where they believe the Halloween festivals began.
That would actually be fun to go to.
Yeah, no, it's great. And even during like literally 3 miles up the road, there's an old passage tomb um, called La Crue. where it's like 5,000 plus years old. And during the equinox, the sun comes in through the passage and lights up the old burial chamber. So
Now,
people,
see, y'all have a lot of that ancient history that
mm,
goes way, way back. I think we only have 300 years just from this country. I mean, we have a little bit more, but we don't have like the 5,000 years to really experience.
yeah, no, it's you get surprised at how old some of the things, particularly in this county. I'm in County Meath, which they refer to as Ireland's ancient East. It's on the east coast, but there's so many old things. Every second field has an old dolmen or a tombstone. And that's apart from all the famine ghosts that are haunting the place from the 1840s.
That's also, I think, was the plague. Did y'all have the
Yeah.
plague also?
The plague, not
That was
really.
more. That was more England, I think.
That was more England. Yeah, no, we had the Great Famine. We had two Great Famines. One 100 years before that, but yeah, that's why so many of us are over where you are at the moment.
Mm,
We hopped onto emigration ships to escape.
I, I can definitely see that. Now, you had mentioned comics earlier before,
Mhm.
and we've actually had Dublin Comic Con on our show, and I don't think you're that
Oh,
far away
cool.
from that.
No.
Now, have you ever thought of attending that to sell your books and sign your books there? Or
I've certainly thought of attending it, but I my book actually now just my debut comes out next Wednesday, the 19th.
oh,
So
sweet.
hopefully I can arrange to get get some copies and maybe talk to the organizers and see that they want me. And if they don't, I'll just hang out in the car park and sell them out of the boot of the car.
Oh, they frown upon that. Trust me.
Don't tell them. No one will tell them.
I don't think I'd call and tell them. I don't think my phone reaches has that country code on it yet. But I think they have a. I haven't seen their guest list this year.
No,
So
me neither. I'll check that out, certainly. It's as I say, because this is my debut, a lot of this is new to me, and I'd love to start going to conventions and meeting up with more horror authors and uh, genre authors, or just any authors.
you'd be surprised how many attend. Trust me.
Mm.
I
And
know
the
we have.
fans, of course, and readers.
Mhm. And they will ask about you. But with all that being said, where can people get your debut novel when it comes out?
It's being published by Bridget's Gate Press. I think you've had a couple of my Bridget's Gate stablemates on the show in the past. But so if you can go to their website, which is bridgetsgatepress.com, or else you can find me on collieleonard.com. So if you take that I and the N away out of my name and put an LY, then you've got Collie Leonard, and that's where I have links to anything that I'm doing.
Is that going to be your pen name or is it going to be Colin Leonard on the book?
Um, no, it's Colin Leonard on the book, but
Okay.
there's a few Colin Leonards who jumped in on the domain names before me. So, and actually, since since a very long time, I've been known as Collie to friends and family. So, I just went with that for the domain name.
With all that being said, now let's go back a little bit farther. What we discussed what inspired you to start writing. What inspired you to start writing horror?
uh, well, some of that is my surroundings, and particularly I would have grown up in the 80s in Ireland, and there was a lot of spooky stuff going on around those times. I lived in the countryside, so we would have been walking up and down creepy roads, climbing old, ancient, creepy trees, doing terrible things at Halloween. And in the media at the same time, we had moving statues going on in Ireland where people thought that the Virgin Mary was either crying blood from her eyes on statues, or else people would see it moving. Um, so we'd sneak into churches and try and catch a glimpse of some sort of divine intervention. Uh, for fun, we used to kick around in old graveyards and, as they say, see all the ways different people died, and hope to find some bones hanging around here or there. So
Yeah, we weren't grave robbers. Trust me,
we
people.
weren't. No.
It was actually, we were trying to see some spooky stuff.
That was it. So growing up like that kind of meant that horror was a natural place to fall into. And of course, around the same time, we were watching video nasties like Critters and Gremlins and Freddy's Nightmares. My parents were big fans of things like The Omen and The Twilight Zone, so we'd be sneaking down to watch those as well.
The old Twilight shows.
Old Twilight Zones, yeah.
I remember those. There was
They
a
were
lot
great.
of, yes, a lot of good stuff from back then. Boy, I miss those days.
And my mother was a big Hitchcock fan, so we'd
Ooh,
be watching Psycho and The Birds.
heard the birds.
So that's got to have an influence on you.
Oh, yeah. And I know I've asked people this before. Have you ever had any of the paranormal experience happen to you?
Um, Often I would have gotten a sense of various things. I'm convinced I was visited by my grandfather's ghost when I was a kid. We would have lived in the house um, that he built, and uh, his old bookcases were down in one of the rooms. A lot of old stuff hanging around, and you get a sense, even if it's not ghosts, of a presence and a residue of things past.
I I can definitely see how that could also inspire some of the writings.
Yeah.
Now, just so we can do a reminder, when is your book coming out? When's the debut novel coming out?
So the debut is out on the 19th of July. We'll be having a book launch online as well. So people can, if they want to check that out, just go to collyleonard.com and the details will be there. I have some stuff out in various anthologies as well. There's Horror Library Volume 8 is actually being released this month as well, which contains one of my stories called Clay, which is a horror inspired by one of James Joyce's short stories. So I always try and bring an Irish element into most of the horror that I'm doing, whether it be Irish traditions, contemporary Irish society, or um, Irish culture. They say, write about what you know. That's what I know. The two things, life in Ireland and horror.
Now, let's see if I got this right. Oh, there we go. Is that the address?
That is exactly the address. Yeah.
Okay. So, people, y'all can go to this website and get his debut novel when it comes out on July 19th. If it comes out at midnight, depending on
Oh, yeah.
location, depending on location, you might be able to get it a little bit beforehand.
Actually, what you can do if you're the kind of person who likes a deal, then you can pre-order it. And if you pre-order it, it's only 99 cents for the ebook. So
Oh, sweet.
can't get much better than that.
No, definitely not. And the ebook, I'm assuming Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon as well. Barnes and Noble. The Again, through my website or through my publisher's website, Bridget's Gate, you'll be able to get the links to the pre-orders.
Very nice. And we definitely want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Cool. It was an absolute pleasure.
And we look forward to speaking to you again. And good luck on your launch. And I hope you have a fun book launch.
I'm sure I will. You can come along if you want to, Greg.
I'd be happy to. It depends on the
I know
day and
you're a
what I'm
busy man.
doing. I keep myself so busy. It's not even funny. I might have a show myself on that day. I'd have to check. But
That's great. No, I really appreciate the chance to come on and talk about it. And if you like spooky, atmospheric, creepy Irish horror, then this is the book for you.
for sure. And everybody, we will be back at noon for our second conversation today. And just so you know, the con hour instead of Thursday will be on Wednesday this week at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And until then,